Hello, everyone. You're listening to Those Other Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory.
I'm her friend, Melanie.
And this is a pop culture podcast, not like other pop culture podcasts. We don't just talk about culture, we change culture.
And we are... and bringing back traditional values.
Woo! Thank you guys so much for being here. We're so happy to have you. Just joking, we don't have a studio audience. Anyway, hello Melanie. It has been a minute since you've been on the pod. Happy 2023.
Happy to be here. I'm liking 2023 so far. Six days in.
That's good. Is it when you guys hear it, it'll be 7 days in. Hopefully, my goal is to upload it tonight. We're recording on Friday night. And you guys know these come out Saturday mornings. The goal is to upload it tonight because, really quick, I'm going to be at the South Carolina March for Life. If you're listening to this at 5 a.m. and you're like, you know what? I have nothing to do today. Well, if you live in the South Carolina, North Carolina area, come on over to Columbia, South Carolina, and come to the South Carolina March for Life. And then right after, come to the Student Life Summit. And Those Other Girls can get you a free ticket. Let us know that you listen to the podcast. And come on over to the summit and you can see a table for Those Other Girls. And also, too, you're going to be able to hear from, oh goodness, I should know her name. She's from Equal Rights Institute. Melanie, you know her name.
Emily
is the keynote speaker from the Equal Rights Institute. Yeah. So it's going to be a really, really good summit. So you guys are not going to want to miss it. If you're listening and this is Sunday or Saturday night, you missed it. I'm sorry. But if it's still, before like 11 on Saturday, head on over. Let me know. Message me. Those Are the Girls podcast on Instagram. But yeah, so how about this? What's been the greatest thing that's happened to you this year?
In the past 6
days? Yeah.
Well, the greatest thing that's happened to me? Well, I have a couple offers for potential
exciting opportunities.
Yes. And that was definitely overwhelming, still processing that, praying about that. And that was yesterday.
One thing I forgot to tell you that someone told me years ago, so now I'm going to tell you and everyone listening on the podcast is sometimes when we are making decisions and we have things going on, we are always praying for open doors. We should sometimes pray for closed doors as well. And thank God for closed doors, because if a door closes, then obviously that's not the option you can do anymore. And obviously that's probably not where God wants you. So also to maybe start praying for closed doors if you can't figure out what option to take.
Yeah. And you, Mallory, what best things happened so far in 2023?
Best thing that happens in 2023. It's been quite a week at my current place of employment. Don't necessarily want to get into that right now. Continue to keep me in my hopes and dreams. And I know. I signed up for this trip that I have wanted to go on since I want to say 2018, maybe. Like it's this
2018.
Yes, I've been following this girl on Instagram before her company was called what it's called now. It's called Lux Tribes. And she does travel groups. So like you and a bunch of random strangers from all over the country will meet up in another country and like do these planned excursions that are really cool. They're cultural. Some of them are like super cultural. Some of them are like fashion based. Some of them are just random fun things in the country to really get a feel of the country. And then she takes care of everything. You just have to pay for your flight. She takes care of everything. Some of the meals I think you have to pay for as well. But anyway, I started following her probably 2018, maybe even 2017. I started following her years ago. And I just remember scrolling and thinking like, oh man, I really want to go on one of these trips. Gosh, it'll be so nice to go on one of these trips every single year. And then this year I said, I'm done. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. I worked it out this particular trip for sure. There's another trip I really, 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 really want to go on. That is my delusional trip that I'm going to work really hard to go on. To spend New Year's Eve not in America. That's all I'm going to say. Because I think it'd be fun. And if I reach I'm just also thinking like if I reach some of the goals that I have set for myself, like weight wise. For those that don't know, if you're following me on Instagram, you know, like I'm in a program right now. So if I can reach some of my goals by the end of the new year, it'll just be really fun to just start 2024 in another country, you know, different people, different like environment. So I just have all these like ideas and dreams. Anyway, so after like continuing looking at this trip, wanting to do this trip, I said, you know what? I am doing this trip. So I put the deposit down and I worked it out that like I absolutely can pay the minimum once a month. The payments are achievable. God's going to have to provide the flight ticket. That's definitely, not sure how I'm going to do that, but you know, that's in October. Also too, part of it is hiking. So, which is going to be difficult this version of Mallory. So it also kind of pushes me to be like, okay, if I really want to enjoy this trip, like if I don't want to be the one like, if we can wait, you know, if I don't want to be that person, I have to push myself. Yeah, I have to push myself to be able to do it because they're going to, one of the, I'll just tell you what the place is. It's Peru. And I'm going to be able to check off. I want to do all 7 wonders of the world before 40. That's my goal. So I'm going to be able to check off another one. I've already done Great Wall of China. So if I do Peru, that Machu Picchu is one of the 7 wonders of the world. But also too, there's the Rainbow Mountain. And I really, really want to climb the Rainbow Mountain. But they say it's about 2 hours and it can be a little strenuous. So ideally, sorry y'all. So ideally, I will work on my health and fitness so I can walk up that Rainbow Mountain in October without any, you know, trouble. So that has been the exciting thing. Honestly, it has really pushed me. I mean, this week I started the program on Monday. It's kind of helped me stay focused because there's been 1 or 2 times where I'm like, God, I really want to eat this thing, but it's just not part of the program I'm in. So I'm like, nope. I gotta stay focused. This is my goal. My goal is to do X, Y, and Z. I gotta stick with this goal, especially because I'm putting money toward this trip. So, you know, I actually gotta go on it. And I want to be able to enjoy it. I am one of those girls, though, that, like, let's say something happens and, like, let's say I break both my legs and I can't walk again till, I don't know, August, and I haven't been able to lose weight because I can't walk or something like that. I will still go on the trip and I'll still have a great time. I just know it will be harder because I am one of those girls. Because, you know, there are some of those girls that like won't do anything. That's not me. I will still do it. I'm still going to, you know, put forth my best effort. But it'll just be more fun, you know, if I can like, you know, not be out of breath walking up this mountain. Even though like they say you gotta start preparing because the altitude is so high and everything. So I'm just so excited for this trip. It's going to be super fun. So yeah, it'd be fun if you could come too. Just throwing that out there.
Yes, it would be, but we have debts to pay. And so I think it's more responsible to put monthly payments towards paying that off than a very luxurious trip. Also, I feel like Peru is a place I want to go to also. It's been on my radar probably since maybe like 2017 also. I had a couple friends go on a pilgrimage there or a mission trip. And so
like a Christian pilgrim. Oh.
Yeah, like they were just evangelizing to the local peoples and helping. I don't know if they were helping people get baptized. They for sure were trying to bring the sacraments to the people in like a very rural town where there wasn't a church or a priest nearby. Anyways, and so that's been on my heart, like, oh, I would like to go to Peru and hopefully see the Machu Picchu. And anyways, so that was another thing I thought of, like, okay, I have debts I want to pay. And then if and when I go to Peru, I would want it to be on a mission trip. I don't know if I'd want to go for like vacation. So, yeah.
That's how I feel about Haiti. Like, I know people vacation in Haiti, but personally, I'd rather just mission trip. Like, I don't know if I could vacation in Haiti. I feel you, though. I feel you.
Yeah. I'm curious about where the secret New Year's Eve destination is. I'm looking at her website now.
Wait, I guess you can look. I don't know why I'm being so secretive about it. I guess I could just say it. That is weird. Why did I do that? So she has a trip where you can go to Egypt and Dubai at the end of the year. So December 28th, 27th. And I love the Middle East. I love Arabic. I like that culture. I love the men. Not that I'm caring about that. I'm just expressing.
Hey, you'll be in 2024 by the time you're
there. Anyway, so it's like, half of the year or half of the trip you're gonna be in Egypt, which also too would knock off another one of my bucket list items, another one of the 7 wonders of the world, because it's the pyramid. You get to see the Sphinx and the pyramids, so you get to go do that, which I really want to do. And then you do like an educational tour, which I would love to do. You do an educational tour, and then you do, I think you have like a dinner on the Nile, one of those things, and then you go to, so it's like old world, so you learn about like how old the Middle East, that area was, and the new world is Dubai, and you get to do like all the like, expensive out there things, like I think there's like skydiving, which also too will fit right in line if like I keep up with my goals. I have to go skydiving. You know that story.
Skydiving.
Go skydiving. Yes. Yes. This is if I keep up with my goals.
I think the New Year's Eve one, maybe I'd be diggity down for that. We'll see.
Okay. But think about this, Melanie. Is all girl trips.
Aww.
So you're not going to get the New Year's kiss from your man. Yeah. Oh, wow. But what she does. Oh, you said, well, okay. Well, she does custom trips. So if you and Jerry ever did want to like go on a trip and you wanted someone to plan out or something like that, she can do that.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. I'll send you the link to that one too. Yeah. I'm so excited. Like, I haven't paid for that one yet.
Yeah. Have you shared with your audience
that one's off.
Your New Year's like goals and resolutions?
Some of them, not all of them. Are you referring to a specific one you think I should share?
No, I'm just curious, like, have you told the people,
okay,
this is what I'm working towards, what I'm hoping for in 2023?
I feel like I did, but not really. I honestly think I did, but I never posted it. I guess I could talk a little bit more about that. So like I mentioned, I do really want to get my health under control. It's one of the things, I'll do a full episode about this. One of the things that's like difficult about chubbiness, obesity, fatness, however you want to call it, is that like it's a social thing, at least for me. Like, I don't really have like super health problems. Like, I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have problems with my heart. Nothing like that. So like a huge chunk for me is just like social and, just recognizing some of social, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Well, some of you do. The girls who get it. The girls who don't, just don't. Anyway, so I really want to get that under control this year because I'm almost 30 and I really was thinking, I was like, gosh, I kind of wasted my 20s, but 30s coming up and I hear 30s are better than your 20s. And I just really want to get that in control. I like clothes, as you can see. This sweater, if you go to my like to know it, you can get the link to it. So I like clothes, and like also too, a lot of the cute clothes are not really made for plus size. Plus size finally is getting some cute clothes, but especially when I was growing up, we look like you have to dress like your high school secretary, and that's not fun. That's not cute. What does that do to you? And you're wondering why boys aren't asking you out. They're confusing you with like the old 40-year-old woman who's bitter. Anyway, now it's getting personal. But anyway, like,
so you're,
but yeah, so working on my health. Second thing is like I really want to take this year and focus on my relationship with God and like getting that right, and then translating also to. I told Melanie this. She laughed at me. I'm gonna tell you guys this. Yeah, y'all, I'm calling her out. She laughed at me. I said I was going to fast men. I'll admit, I said 2 years the first time. I'll admit that. I thought about it. I'm going to do a year and then reevaluate. So you won't be getting any funny stories about guys on apps, things like that from me this year. You're not going to get that. So I want to, so also too, like if someone's done something like this, I've been wanting to like figure out how to like almost quantify, like, do I take myself out once a month? Like, what can I do to kind of like make it fun, like make it, and I want to like in this year, my goal is to not so desperately want to be married. I'm a 28 28-year-old woman who is single, and I'm a Christian and I'm conservative. So these are things where like she's Christian and conservative, she's 20, she's not married. What? That's like how people are like respond to me, or anyway, that's how it kind of is because of my age and the people I associate, or like the labels I have. So I want to, so it's always on the top of mind. I mean, every, conservative, that's their thing now. Get married, have babies, get married, have babies, get married, have babies, which is fine. Please do that if that's what God called you to do. But like, I want to not want that so desperately, I guess. And this year, I want to work on that. That's something that I'm really, so if you have any tips, any books, preference, I don't want to read a book where you're working on yourself to prepare for a husband. I want to read a book where you're working on yourself for God. No, seriously, like I'm so tired of like all these Christians. Yeah, sure, being single is great. You're preparing for your husband. Well, what if God doesn't, like the reality is God doesn't promise us a husband. He doesn't. I know that's like hard for people to hear. God is not promising you a husband. I know it's tough. That's difficult. I said that to someone and, she about slapped me, but that's just the truth. So, and God is still good no matter what. Whether you're the husband or not, God is still good. The question of the matter is, are you still going to be angry and bitter and mad at him because he's not giving you the husband you think you deserve because you've done X, Y, and Z, and Sally over here has done all this, but you've done X, Y, and Z. God hasn't given me, are you going to be angry and bitter about it? Or are you going to still walk in what God has called you to do? Because God has called us all to do a myriad of different things. You are still valuable to the kingdom, whether you're married or not. So are you still going to like be bitter about it, or are you going to like walk forward? So anywho, I'm tired of reading books about everything's about be prepared for your husband, which is fine. I have a friend who said that God told her in a dream she's going to get married. Okay, then she should definitely be getting prepared to be a husband, to be a wife. But she's a woman going to marry a man. Anyway, so sure, yeah, prepare, do that. But like, not all of us have had that. Tonight I go to bed and God says, Mallory, stop talking so silly. You're going to be married one day. Then okay, then sure. Let me read some books about being married. But I don't know that. So I want to make sure that no matter what, I am focusing on what God has called me to do and keeping and if I heard this somewhere in the speech, years ago, because once again, grew up Christian, and I legit thought I was going to be married by 23. Like I thought I would have 3 kids by now. So I'm shook, 18-year-old me is like, what the heck happened? So I heard this in a speech because, like I said, grew up Christian. So, you hear all these things your whole life. And someone said, you are focused on God, doing God's work, and then someone else is going to run besides you. And then together, you guys are running to God, and that makes a triangle. You're running to God, he's running to God, and then he comes, sees you, you see him, and you run together. Yeah, that was Illuminati. I'm not an Illuminati. But yeah, you guys, so that's the other goal. And then also too, I just really want this year, I think I said this on my personal page, I want to be delusional. I just want to do things. Like, that's what I want this year to be about, doing things. Things that YOLO, here for a good time, not a long time. Like, I want to be just like the Peru thing. I keep thinking, like, how the heck I can make the monthly payments for the trip. Where am I going to get money for a flight? I have no idea. But I mean, I have my jewelry store, this necklace, you guys. The Pink Road Jewelry Store .shopify.com. I have my necklaces that I'm selling. I'm going to have more jewelry. And, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Hire me to speak. So I'm just like, I'm going to be saying yes to just all these different things. I'm like, I'm going to live. I am 28 years old. I feel like I've just kind of like wasted 3 years of my life because of the pandemic. Was one of the things. A lot of life changes and some other emotional things that I've gone through. Boy wise, y'all know how boys can be. So like, so like, I just feel like these last 3 years I've almost wasted, except for last year. I feel like I lived a lot last year, but I will live more. I want to do more things. Like, that's just, yeah. 2023. Woo. All right, Melanie, what about you?
Well, I want to say, Mallory, I know you say like you want to read a book about like how to live in this state of life, how to live not constantly longing, thinking about getting married. Maybe you could be the person to write that book. And maybe there's other girls like you who are waiting for that book. So instead of waiting to read the book, maybe you need to start writing the book.
That is an option. That's an option for sure.
It's an option. Okay.
It's an option. No, I mean, you're making a valid point, because like I don't think there needs to be more for that. And it's not saying that like God isn't sovereign, that he's not, like, for myself and many others, we could have who knows, tomorrow at the march there could be a random guy walking across the street that goes, wow, what are they doing over there? Huh, I just moved here. I've been looking for a pro-life community. Can I join you? And girl, you are beautiful. Are you leading this? You have a booth? Oh my, I can't believe, wow, I make 6 figures and my dad is looking to invest in a podcast.
I thought your fake story was going to end with him wanting to date you.
I'm not done. And my dad wants to invest in a podcast. This is so crazy. Let's get married and we'll do this crazy thing together.
I actually have my own podcast. It's called Those Are the Guys.
Have you heard of Those Are the... It's called Those Are the Girls? I'm Those Are the Guys. You're kidding. Wow. Oh my goodness. I want to take you out on a date. Anywhere you want to go. Have you heard of Dubai? You know, like... Anyway.
It could happen.
It's possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. We're laughing right now. We could be Sarah's when the angel told Isaac. No, when the angel told Isaac that Sarah was going to have Abraham. When the angel told Abraham Sarah was going to have kids and she laughed, we could be Sarah's right now. We could be. I don't know. I mean, statistics, but it's possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Like, there's this one YouTuber I used to watch. Her name's Imogen. Homegirl was single for 4 years, and like she would just talk about it openly. Like, yeah, I'm just no guy is interested. Like, I'm single, but who knows? Maybe I'll meet him tomorrow. I don't know. And then now she's married, but she was
Wow.
openly, on YouTube talking about her singleness for 4 years. And I just always remember that she always had hope, that she was always like, I don't know, ladies. And I think she was similar, like late 20s. And she was just like, it could happen. I don't know when. I don't know. But
right. Like, I don't want it to come across, because like someone made it seem like I don't want to come across like I've completely given up. There's anything is possible. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be so like hyper, like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and if you're listening, this is not an insult to you at all. I was with some girls, and I noticed that all we talk about is being single, and it's starting to like annoy me. Like, let's talk about our finances. Can we talk about our goals? Do you guys have podcasts? Like, I'm kind of tired of that, and I know it's partially me. Sometimes I bring it up, and all we do is talk about being single, and I'm just like, oh gosh. And my brother was telling me about him and his friends were talking about all these investments for their New Year's, and they were talking about these investments that they were going to do. I'm like, dang, that wasn't my female conversation. And it's like, I'm just kind of tired of that. Like, and if you're listening, nothing against you guys, I love you. And if you're that girl, nothing against you. I'm just saying, like, me, I'm kind of tired of that. Like, I want to get out of that. Because, like, also, too, it's kind of sad. Like, it's starting to get sad. I'm almost 30. Like, I don't want to still be, like, 30. Like, dang, I wish, I don't know. I'm over it,
yeah.
Let's talk about honestly, Melanie, like, Melanie and I sometimes talk about our goals outside of, never mind. But you guys know Melanie and I, what I'm trying to say is Melanie and I talk about other things outside of our relationship status. Like, yes, we talk about boys and our relationship status. She's married, obviously. But like, we talk about other things outside of that. And like, I want to be more of that. But I notice, like, sometimes some of these single girls that I'm friends with, like, all they seem to want to talk about is being single, which I get. Once again, like, I understand it sucks right now in the season, but like, doesn't have to suck. Like, come on, let's go visit this place and not think about the boys that might be there. I don't know. That's just me. I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be strange.
I think that's a healthy mindset to have. Like, I don't know, when I like to go out dancing, and even like before Jerry, like, I didn't go out dancing with the mindset of there's going to be guys. I just thought I like dancing. I'm like, let's just go dance.
Yes.
Like, so
yes.
I think that's a healthy line of thought. And I hope and encourage your other girlfriends to adopt that same way of thinking, that you can be free to enjoy life. And if and when God brings that guy around, then he does. But in the meantime, you are enjoying what God has given you. So.
Yes. And other hobbies. Like, let's all create like, let's have hobbies outside of relationships, outside of, these other things. Anyway, we've gone on way too long. We haven't even gotten into the stories. Melanie, do you want to share a couple goals really quick?
Yes. Okay. So, I want to start a podcast this year.
Woo! I wasn't sure if you were going to say it. Yay!
Well, I mean, why not? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Those are the girls.
We'll all hold you accountable.
Come at me. Yeah, I really
we're going to hold you accountable.
I feel like since high school, people have made like comments to me encouraging me, like, you should do a YouTube. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, people see something in me, and I'm starting to see it in myself. And why am I just not doing it? Like, now's the time. And
y'all, I've been telling her this for years.
Yeah, I'm such a podcast.
Well, we've known each other for 2 years.
Well, it's plural, and so that's I want to work on. I'm also really trying to hunker down on my language learning. I am like, my Spanish has been so like halfway. Like, I'm like if you're familiar with like A1, A2, B1, B2 language learning levels, I'm like at the cusp of going past A2 to B2 language with Spanish. Anyway, so it's very much like I can talk. I don't have as much vocabulary as I would like to be fully comfortable speaking. So I'm really trying to like, let's reach fluency in Spanish, gosh darn it, and quit staying in this stuck place. And I'm also trying to learn Portuguese and French, and just like hobby languages, like for funsies. So that's some things I'm working on. This first week of the new year, I've been going to the gym again now that I live in an apartment.
Ooh.
And I have access to a gym. It's like, okay, there's no excuse. It's walking distance. It's free to me, you know, like no excuse, Melanie. And so Jerry and I have been going every day. So that's nice.
Oh, sweet.
Getting into that routine. I feel like I said this last New Year that one of my goals or resolutions is like wake up early, and I still desire that, like to go to sleep at a good time, to wake up at an early time, to get the day started, to do more things during the daytime. So I still am working towards that. I really want to also prioritize my health, but more so like with starting to exercise, because I do turn 25 this year and I'm a skincare junkie, y'all. And
yes,
if you don't already know, at 25, already in your 20s, you're starting to lose, like the amount of collagen that you have starts to decrease. And at 25 is kind of like with the decreasing. And also at 25, I heard something like it's better to like have started some type of exercise regimen and then maintain it past 25 than to start something after 25. It's better to start something no matter how old you are. But so that's on my mind, like, this is my last year before 25. Like, I need to start.
It's your quarter year.
Yes. And like the fact that I'm turning 25, like there's just something different of like 23, 24. But like 25? Like that,
yeah.
You are in your mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
What? Where did all the time go? Where did college go? Right. I feel like I could have done so much more in college. And I'm like, why didn't I take advantage of all the summers? And why didn't I do more internships and whatever? Anyways, so that's on my mind is being more healthy with exercising. I'm wanting to go vegan. I am vegetarian. I still eat fish, so some people would call me pescatarian. I still eat cheese products. And so I'm wanting to also transition towards cutting out fish and cutting out cheese. I've been cutting out cheese more slowly. So yeah, that's also something but I'm not hard on myself. Like if
why do you want to cut these out?
Well, just there's a lot of documentaries out there about the mistreatment of animals in the commercialization and industrialization of the meat animal industry. So it's partially for the animals and it's also partially for the environment. I watched a documentary last week about the number one pollution factor in the ocean, in the seas. The name of the documentary is called Seaspiracy. It's on Netflix. Seaspiracy. And anyways, but basically kind of like this moral lesson at the end of the documentary was that like the number one pollutant that's polluting our seas is like fishing nets. And why are commercial fishing like happening? Because people are consuming and buying fish. Like now is the little fisherman who's fishing for his family, is that hurting the environment? I don't think so. Like, but the big like ships that are out there, and that also the fish industry is what is harming like dolphins and whales. And so, and just in the documentary, I learned like how important the whole like ecosystem in the sea is towards like everything else for us to live. And also another point at the end was like we eat fish because of the omegas, but fish get the omegas from algae. So if we really want the omegas, we can eat algae. And so that was like, didn't think of that. So yes, that's one, like, I'm like, okay, I hope to cut out fish and dairy this year. And I bought a sauna blanket for Black Friday. So I've also been in my sauna blanket after my workouts every day.
Wow. Okay.
And then last, like,
you're the epitome of health.
Last resolution and goal is that I also hope to travel this year, and starting with the National DC March. And
ooh,
yes, and also Jerry and I are hoping to go to World Youth Day in Portugal. That is a like not annual. It's like every 3 years, this big Catholic youth gathering. It's always in a different location throughout the world. Yes, so this year it's in Portugal, which is partially why I'm working on my Portuguese.
Okay.
And then Jerry and I possibly will go to South Korea to visit his family, because his parents are moving there for 3 years. So we're thinking 1 year anniversary trip, South Korea, visit mom and dad, have an anniversary trip out of it.
Okay. So you might not be able to join me in Peru or Egypt or Dubai.
I mean,
who knows?
Dos, porque no los tres, porque no los cuatro.
You know what? Why not? Why not?
So this is the year of delusion, Melanie.
It's the year of delusion.
YOLO.
Here for a good time, not a long time. Those are great goals. Let's hold each other accountable. Everyone listening, hold me and Melanie accountable. If you see, Melanie eating fish, comment liar. No, I'm just joking. Don't do that. No, but hold us accountable. And let us know if you have any cool goals that you want us to hold you accountable for. Message us. We'd love to help in any way possible. Speaking of which, and then we really do have to get into the stories because we're almost at 40 minutes. I sent this TikTok to Melanie and I'll share it eventually. This girl made a bingo game out of her goals. So like she got a template, she said, from Canva, and maybe if I can find it, I can show you guys the template. She got a template from Canva and she wrote down all of her goals, and then once she gets a bingo row, she's going to like reward herself. And I'm like, you know what, that sounds fun. So I think I might do that this weekend, make a bingo game out of my goals. And I think you guys should too, if you have time. But yeah, wow. So this is going to be a good year. 2023, it's for me. Hear the way it rhymes. But yeah, so this is what happens when you catch up with your friends. You spend 40 minutes at the beginning of the episode that talking about just catching up. So anyway, let's get into it. First, I have a couple announcements I want to do really quick. The first thing is, like I mentioned, I will be South Carolina March for Life is January 7th. There is a student summit that those are the girls will have a booth in. And I want to tell you guys, thank you everybody who joins the Patreon. I want to show you what joining the Patreon helps with. I was able to get these little cards for people that have pro-life episodes, because it's a life summit. So obviously, so these are just episodes that are pro-life focused. And then this is just Those Are the Girls, Melanie and Friends. And then this little thing right here, you scan it with your Spotify and it pulls up our Spotify channel. And then got these cute little pink mics that I'll be able to, I'm going to do some cool interviews tomorrow as well. Hook this up to the phone and everything, and then got this. So yeah, so I just want to say, once you join the Patreon, you're helping. Hello?
I said nice.
Oh, I thought you said you're right. And I was like, what? But yeah, so these are, you helped get these. You helped with that. So I appreciate everyone who's part of the Patreon. If you want to help, continue to help, be part of the Patreon, you can head over to patreon.com/thosearethegirls. Also, too, if you're looking for a nice, comfy sweatshirt, the Anti-Abortion Social Club sweatshirts are truly very comfy, and they're going to be perfect and warm for if you go to the DC March. Which, if you're going to the DC March and you don't have anyone to go with, please reach out. We would love to walk with you. Trying to think the North Carolina March for Life is January 14th, and then A Moment of Hope. They're having an event, a gala for their anniversary, and they're having Dr. Ben Carson speak. So that's super exciting. And that's February 9th. So I'll be at all four of those things that I said. I'll be there. Hope to see you. Okay. We really have to get into these stories, because I had 5, but we're not going to do all 5. Are you ready to talk some tea? Clink. Are you aware that we don't see you, Melanie?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I see myself. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm letting you know we can't see you. That's okay for right now. You can hear us. You can hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I just don't see you.
I have no idea.
That's okay.
See myself. Okay.
Maybe can you turn the camera off and turn it back on?
Okay.
See if that works. There you are.
Okay.
There she is. Okay. So, are we ready? The first story we're going to be talking about something that, part of the reason why I really wanted to cover this is because I know a lot of people did not know this was happening, and Melanie is a great guest to cover this with, because she is just a wealth of knowledge. This first story is brought to you by Rutgers.com. Walgreens, CVS plans to start offering abortion pills. Walgreens Boot Alliance, Inc. and CVS Health Corp. said on Wednesday they plan to offer abortion pills following the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's decision to allow retail pharmacies to offer the drug in the country for the first time. I want to read that sentence again because I shared this today and a couple people were like, what? I didn't know this. Following the USFDA's decision to allow retail pharmacies sorry, everybody, to offer the drug in the country for the first time. The FDA on Tuesday finalized a rule allowing one of the 2 drugs to be dispensed by retail pharmacies, but sellers will have to weigh whether or not to offer the pill. U.S. abortion rights were curtailed in 2022 when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the landmark decision, 1973 Roe v. Wade decision. So, essentially, what's happening now is the FDA approved for misoprostol, that's the one, I'm pretty sure, to be sold, go up to a regular pharmacy. And we want to talk about why this is bad. Melanie, would you like to go first?
Well, there's lots of reasons why this is bad. It is, well, one of the first things coming to my mind is that this is like further trying to destigmatize abortion, make abortion seem normal, that this is just another prescription drug you can pick up at CVS and Walgreens. It's also harmful because we know that this drug is dangerous to women. We know that women with incomplete abortion, that there is a higher risk of failure. I'm not saying this is good and this should be the reason why we're against this, but it is a reason to be concerned that there is higher risk of women dying and risking their lives with an incomplete abortion, with baby pieces being still inside of their uterus. And then this is also harmful because children will be suffocated to death and birthed in toilets, then flushed down the drains and in our water systems. So even if you're not pro-life, but you are pro taking care of the environment, then you should also be concerned about our water and how having dead babies will affect our drinking water and our water systems. So yeah, I would say some things that we can do to combat this are to be outspoken in your pro-life stance, that this is wrong, that dispensing abortion drugs, the chemical abortion or toilet bowl abortions is wrong, that will kill babies and be harmful to women. And I think another tangible thing that we can do, not that this is going to be the easiest thing, but to boycott supporting these big businesses. And so I think it's one thing to say like boycott, I don't know, Amazon or Target or Starbucks. Yeah. That's one thing, because people will say that these organizations are in favor of abortion ideology. Sure, that's one like stance that people take. Like, we should not be supporting these organizations because they are in favor of abortion. Okay. With CVS and Walgreens actively going, if they choose to do this, I think, like, I don't know how it works. Like, I think they have to say, like, yes, we will do that at this location. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they choose to do that at that location, that will actively end human lives. So I think there is a real, like, ethical reason to boycott that than to, I don't know, boycott something where you can't help if the employee where that employee chooses to put their money. Like, I think there's a separate, like, this will actively kill humans, this place. So yeah. That's something I know I am not planning to do. Will it be harder to go out of my way to find a mom and pop pharmacy, or like when I want to buy, I don't know,
Rite Aid?
Yeah. Will it be harder to find a mom and pop shop? Maybe, yeah. It won't be as convenient. But if you're someone like me, if you like supporting small business, I think that, well, there's a bright side of this, supporting small business. So those are just some of my thoughts. I remember back when, I don't know which college campuses do this. I think, like, in California, I think there was a movement back when abortion was still legal in Texas to get this on college campuses here, is to have like Plan B, like, what do you call
Vending machines?
Vending machines.
Vending machines.
Yeah. And so I think there was also a push to get abortion pills to be able to be dispensed on campuses. I think
Oh
that's what's
my.
happening in California. Anyways, so I remember when that happened, like when I think it was in California. I don't know. Anyways, it's sad, right? Like babies are going to die. I do want to say, as maybe like, I don't know, twisted as it may seem, like this is an abortion that is that will be in a woman's own home, like in her own toilet or hotel room or wherever. It's not something where she's sedated, like knocked out, and doesn't get to see her dead baby. Like there is a moment, there is a chance to look down in the toilet and to see the humanity of her child. So I hope, if and when, like, however the expansion of abortion pills happens, I hope in a turn of events that maybe the abortion industry doesn't hope for, isn't foreseen, that there could be the possibility of more women seeing that was not a clump of cells. That was a baby boy
Yeah.
with 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, like a nose, an eyes, a mouth, like, so not, do I want more babies dying? No. But since this is the new reality we're living in, this is something that I hope for, that more women will look down and will see their babies, and that more women hopefully will come forward, will find healing. Let me preface that they will find healing after choosing abortion. I mean, preface it even more. Do I want women choosing abortion? No. But for the women who do, for the women who do go to CVS or Walgreens, the women who do choose to go with an at-home toilet bowl abortion, that they will look down, they will see the humanity of their child, and that we can have more women in, I don't know, 3, 5, 10 years coming forward with stories of like, yeah, why did Walgreens let me do that? That was painful. That was horrific. That was scarring. And I will always remember the face of my baby in my toilet.
Wow. I didn't think about some of the things that you said. I mean, the having dead humans in our water system, that's scary.
It's a scary thought. It's sad. Where do you think the babies are going when they're told to sit on the toilet and flush into our water systems?
Yeah, that's scary and sad. And then I think you made a very valid point when you said that they're going to, if someone does make that decision, they're going to see the humanity of their child. I just can't imagine, you think you're doing this procedure and then you see an arm. I've read stories of that happening. People see their child's arm and then they just feel so awful. But I think that you're right. God turns everything out around for the good. So that could be something that will go into the unthinkable category. If we're making abortion illegal and unthinkable, someone does that and they're like, oh gosh, I can never do that again. And they tell more people and hopefully try to stop women from making the same decision. Another thing, I listened to this podcast months ago, and it was by a liberal news source, and they were talking about getting illegal abortion pills. And I've wanted to do something discussing this for a really long time, just haven't been able to like work it out, the timing and everything. But essentially, they were just talking about how there's like these websites where you can get abortion pills, and they did some research, and like 7 of them are all traced back to an IP in Russia, an IP address. So it's like a lot of this stuff is very, very sketch, and women are doing this not knowing really what they're putting in their bodies. I saw a video, and this was by Vice, and I guess their idea was like, you can't make abortion illegal because of this. But my thing is like, we should be stopping this from happening. But a lady went across the border to Mexico, and she went to 3 different pharmacies and picked up abortion pills. And each pharmacy, it essentially like gave her a different timing for like, one was like take 1 pill every hour, another one was like take 1 pill every 7 hours for 3 days, or something like that. And like the packaging was strange, and it was just like a random. It honestly looked like a corner store. It didn't really look like a pharmacy. It looked like a corner store. And the idea is like it's these chemicals. These are things that, as you know, we are 110% against abortion. But these are things that, like, if you are going to have an abortion, we would prefer you not take these like, this is so unsafe. It's so not good for you. It could be really harmful for women. Women have died because, also too, you know, I was reading about this, and if you think that you're pregnant, or if you think you're pregnant and you take an abortion pill and you actually have an ectopic pregnancy, that could really mess you up. You know, sometimes you don't really. Some people are taking it in secret, so they haven't told anyone. So, you know, people have died because they like hemorrhaged at home by themselves. That's just so. When I saw that, all I could think about was like how dangerous it is for the baby. You know, you're killing. You're intentionally, like, this is so intentional. You have every hand and act of doing this, of killing your child, and then also you as a mom, you could die. These aren't just like, you know, Flintstone vitamins, haha, taking it. This is just terrible. And I think Melanie made a very good point. I think boycotting CVS and Walgreens is a great idea. I think you made a very good distinction between, like, you know, Amazon versus Walgreens and CVS. And I'm definitely going to try my hardest. And I say this all the time, like, you do what you can. I'm not expecting you know, you're in the middle of nowhere and there's a Walgreens, there's literally nothing else, and you have to get, you know, your child's medicine or your child dies. Okay, you know, stop at Walgreens. Do what you can, though. Like Melanie said, maybe you have to drive an extra 5 minutes to this Walgreens to a mom and pop shop instead of Walgreens, just to get something random. Okay, that's fine. I think that's something you can do. So yeah, it's crazy that this is where we are, but I honestly knew this was what was going to happen. Like, I knew that once Roe was overturned, they were going to try to do it to get as much to people as possible. So let's, Melanie mentioned it, and let's go over it again. Let's boycott Walgreens and CVS. And then also too, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the dangers. Let's share the different things. I'm going to, hopefully this upcoming week, I'll be sharing some more, like, stories and, like, just different facts about taking the abortion pill and things like that. Like, let's continue to share this information, because I do think it's important for people to know. And, you know, if you guys have other ideas of what we can do to, like, put a stop to this, and if we can't stop it, but at least warn as many people as possible. I just keep thinking about, to be honest, I'm thinking about, like, a 16-year-old girl who is scared, who, you know, isn't a bad girl. She made a decision one night with her boyfriend. Eventually they might want to get, you know, all these scenarios. And she's just so scared. She goes and she buys this pill, goes home, closes the door, locks the door, takes it, and, you know, is lying in her bed at night, just like cramping, bleeding, and she doesn't want to tell her parents because she knows she messed up, and she's scared. And then her parents waking up, coming to her room the next morning, and she's passed away. Like, that's honestly, that was like one of my initial thoughts. Like, that's my first thing, and that's worst case scenario. I know, you know, that doesn't happen every single time, but, like, this is what opening the door, making it so easily accessible, is going to do. These are the back alley abortions that they were talking about. Like, this is it. Like, so we have to do whatever we can. I think also too, there's going to be legislation in everyone's states to make this illegal. I know, is it Texas has it illegal right now?
Yeah, we have a complete ban on abortion in Texas, and also pre-Roe falling, we also banned mail order abortions before Roe. So
that's what I'm thinking.
We foresaw
mail order, yeah.
Outside states, outside entities mailing abortion pills into Texas. So that is also a crime Is it easy to hold persons accountable? No. So are illegal abortions happening?
There's that.
Yes. I mean, can you stop someone who's going to break the law and get away with it? Like, how can you hold people accountable?
Yeah.
But you can do as much as you can and putting the proper laws in place. So yes, we do have the ban on you cannot mail abortion pills into Texas. So yeah, the other worst case scenario that I can think of is abusers, sex traffickers. I think abortion pills are another tool for an abuser, a captor to keep their victims, with them and doing what they're having them do. And so I imagine very malicious people are also happy that CVS and Walgreens are, right around the corner. And I wonder what, like I'm sure in states where, I'm guessing like in California, at least I think this is the case in California, like not needing parental consent, to get an abortion. I wonder how that would be for like the 16-year-old you said in states where they have lifted up that a minor doesn't need like parental consent to get an abortion. How is that for abusers then? Like, I wonder how much more accessible that makes.
Like, can a man come in? Like, I wonder if like a man can come in and say, "Hey, I'd like a pack of or 5 or 6 misopress the first
I think
pill."
the name's misoprostol and mifepristone. I think those are the clinical names.
I wonder if an abuser or like a human trafficker, because when you said that's what I was saying, I was wondering if like, they order 10 and have them in the pantry that's been sitting there. Because, also too, these drugs can expire. But he's not thinking of that. He's just trying to do whatever he can. He has 10 in there. Some he got last year. His new girl comes in. Turns out she's pregnant. Here, take this. Here, take this.
That's a scary thing to
Here's
think
a drink.
Keep it in the keep it in your pantry. Yeah, I think that's another worst case scenario. And so I imagine horrible people who are thinking this way are happy at the further accessibility of abortion pills now.
We have our marching orders. It's very important for us to be involved. If you can, I think maybe trying to talk to your states or county or cities, like pro-life legislation to see can they put a stop to it in your state, like things like that. Like these are kind of the things that we need to do. It's good to be aware. Now you're aware. Now we have to go do something about it. Do what we can. Once again, I'm not saying, go storm the Capitol. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you have to, boycott every place there's only one Walgreens in your whole town and your child needs their medicine. I'm not saying, to do that, but I'm just saying, like, do what you can. Ask God to convict you. Ask God to tell you what you need to do, because we need to do something. We can't just be like, dang, that's messed up. All right. Like, we can't do that. I think a lot of times we do that in a lot of situations. I know I do sometimes. Right. Right. Dang, that's messed up. Everybody, let's go to Walgreens. We can't do that. We can't do that anymore. We need to do something. So we gave you guys some ideas. Let's get to it. So we're at over an hour. I really want to talk about I'm so sorry, y'all. I really want to talk about this TikTok, just because it's something girly, I guess. And maybe we'll end it at that. And there's other 2 stories. Maybe we can do like a small quick Teacap later, but we probably should end it. But I'm gonna let I'm so sorry. You guys know I've had this cough for over 2 months now. I have no idea what's happening.
Valerie, that's a concern. This is not okay.
Is it? I don't know.
That's not just a cough. Something's going on. You are not okay.
Because like I feel fine. Like I don't have a fever or anything. I don't.
Do you have a doctor?
I just have this cough for over 2 months. I do have I do have health insurance. I do have a doctor.
And has the doctor?
I don't want to bother her with this.
Lungs. Go get your lungs examined. This is not okay. You could have like a lung disease going on.
No, it's just a silly cough.
Not for 2 months. That's not silly. Mallory, go get your lungs examined. Do it for you.
You'll do it for me. I'll pray about it. I'll pray on it.
Well, put you first and go get your lungs examined.
Anyway, let's move on to the next story. I want to play a clip from this from this TikTok, and then I want us to talk about it really quick. It doesn't have to be long, but this is something that's been going viral. People have been talking about, and I really think it'll be interesting if we discuss it. So I'm going to play it. Un momento, por favor.
Ever since I heard this theory, I cannot get it out of my mind. Men marry the woman in front of them at the time they are ready to get married. Let's talk about it. So I was scrolling through TikTok one day, as we all do, and I came across this photographer. She's obviously been at a lot of weddings, and she observed that the men were marrying the woman in front of them at the time that they were ready to get married, implying that wasn't necessarily that man's soulmate or that man's love of his life. It was just the girl he was dating at the time he was ready to get married. And
okay, so that's essentially the whole TikTok. Melanie, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I think that's kind of a stupid theory. I'm not a fan. I don't want to believe boys are that dumb that one day something clicks in their brain. They're like, I'm ready to get married. And I happen to be dating you at this time. So I guess that means I'm going to marry you. I would like to think that boys have the capacity, not saying every boy, but have the capacity to think critically and also to make an informed decision on if they want to marry that person. I don't want to believe that something just switches and flips and they're like, okay, for some reason today I'm ready and I'm dating you, so let's do it. And also, I don't know, I feel like that's a very secular mindset, because I feel like when you're dating like a Christian, you are dating with the goal to get married, and you're dating, to discern, does this person have the potential, do I desire for them to be my future spouse? At least that's how I've gone about dating. I think that's what we do as Christians, is you take dating seriously, that there's an end goal, and that goal is marriage. And so I feel like her perspective of guys they marry the person in front of them when they're ready to get married. There's not really a soulmate. Like, they just pick you if you're standing in front of them. I just feel like that's completely taking out the element of dating to marry to find your spouse. So I don't agree.
Okay. I think we took it kind of differently,
okay,
which is probably why this is such a hot topic. So I think the premise is that there's no such thing as soulmates, that you kind of end up with who you're in proximity to. And I actually I believe that. I don't believe that like we have one perfect person for us. I think that, and I mean, I've said this before, I think you can make it work with anybody in the, if you and that person both decide we will get married and we will be together forever, I think you can make it work. Now, will it be more fun with versus Bob versus Dylan? Maybe. Probably. You should probably pick the person who you'll have the most fun with, who you enjoy their company, who you find attractive to have cute kids with. But I do think it is possible for it to work. And I do think a lot of it does have to do with like who you are around. And I agree that it does go against the Christian mindset. I unfortunately don't know, and it could just be because of my dating history and the guys that have been attracted to me. I just don't know how many guys are really going into dating thinking, I mean, I'm with you. Every guy, if you had asked me every single guy that I dated, I legit thought I was going to marry. Like, I've never dated a guy and be like, no, I don't think, no. Every single guy that I've been like, I love you. Like, I thought I was going to marry. So, like, I think that's definitely how girls think, whether secular or Christian. I don't know if that's how guys think, though. Like, I kind of do think that, like, guys do have a moment where they're like, you know what? It's time for me to settle down. What am I doing? And then they go and find someone to settle down with. And I don't think that means the people that they dated were not good enough. I think it just means that wasn't that person. And I think it just means that, like, they're just not dating that person. And the person that they find, I don't think that means that person's less. I think it just means that that's just how it happened. So I don't know. Like, I don't think that it's, like, way out there, the idea. I think it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, think about this. Like, there's another timeline. Well, hopefully in all timelines, you know, we're with that one person we end up with. But there definitely could be another timeline where you actually grew up, your parents were Chinese missionaries to China, and you met someone in China, you know? It's possible. I mean, once again, a beautiful love story would be that no matter where, if you guys have seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, you know the line where he's like, in another world, I would love to be folding laundry with you, or something like that. The sweetest eyeball. Anyway, so we all, like, that's obviously what we want to think, but I don't know if that's really how it is, you know? I don't know. Once again, this could just be my bias. And who knows, 2 years from now, I could be madly in love. And I'm like, soulmates, we all have a soulmate. I hope you find yours. You know, that could be me. I don't know. But like where I'm sitting right now, I don't know. I think I agree with her. And I think that, yeah. Thoughts? You have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I don't know if soulmates exist, and I'm just okay with not knowing. I can see an argument either way. Like, I can see the argument of that if you are called to the vocation of marriage, you are set apart. That means that your future spouse already exists. Like, the person you're going to marry already exists, and you exist. So one could argue, like, there is a mate for your soul. Like, there is that soul mate that is kind of set apart for you, that God already knows the plan and has blessed that marriage. So someone could make that argument. And then there's the other argument I see of free will, that we have the free will to choose who to date, who to marry, who to have a family with. We have that free will. So is there one person, like you said, Mallory? I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing with like the soulmate that I think about, though, is like, okay, what if my soulmate just hasn't decided on a whim to marry Sue? So he's married to Mary Sue. Do I pray for their divorce? That's just that's the thing with soulmates. You know what I mean?
Soulmate, Your
so
soulmate.
Every single person ends up with their soulmate. Well, my soulmate hasn't met me yet. That's what I'm saying. Everybody marries their soulmate.
If soulmates exist, yes, you marry your soulmate.
So what about people who made the mistake? What about people? That's still their soulmate?
What do you mean?
What if someone marries someone that abuses them? Is that still their soulmate? You know what I mean? Like,
they were never their soulmate then. They were never their soulmate to begin with. So then
she didn't marry her soulmate.
Yeah. So they were never
the person who she's soulmates to. Well, then the person who she was soulmates to married someone else.
Not necessarily.
But if they got so then she probably doesn't have a soulmate? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so, like, I don't know. The idea of soulmates, I used to love it. Like, the idea God has one specific person for you perfectly. You guys come together and mesh, but, like, it just doesn't make sense. At least to me, it just doesn't make sense.
My parents definitely believe like, because they have written to us like, oh, I'm so happy you found your soulmate. And I'm like, that's sweet. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
what do you guys think?
I definitely think you choose to love someone and you have the choice to get married. Are you choosing your soulmate?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, is
that person predestined? But then, like, we don't believe in that as Christians. Like, we believe we have free will and that you have the free will to make choices. So I see both sides of maybe Jerry is my soulmate. Maybe we were predestined to get married from the start of all of eternity. Like, God knew and he blessed that relationship. But also we had the choice.
And in every time, in every universe you're married. Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you guys think they're soulmates? That'll be the Spotify question. Do you believe in soulmates? I don't know. I just don't think the idea of a soulmate is so romantic. I love the idea. Like, if it honestly would give me so much comfort. And it would give me so much comfort, like, you know what? My soulmate is out there. Even if we're 80 and find each other, we'll find each other. My soulmate. But, like, it just isn't logical. Like, what do I do? Like, what if my soulmate is in a prison, falsely imprisoned in Tibet under a rock or I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But, like, it just doesn't make sense. I think that, and I think also too, like, what's really important is knowing, like what she was saying, like, knowing that you want to get married is like going into the relationship knowing that that's what the other person wants too. I think that's the biggest thing, because there are guys out there, I'm sure girls do it too, but we're talking about guys right now. There's guys out there who go into relationships just wanting a relationship. I have no intention of marrying. And I think that I like the idea of being a foster girlfriend. So you're the girlfriend that he goes to and you help him fix some of his flaws, and then right after he gets married, so you're the girlfriend to go to before he finds his forever home. Like,
foster girlfriend.
A foster girlfriend before he finds his forever home.
Oh my goodness.
Like, that's a real thing. That happens. Like, guys, you can help a guy grow and mature and blah, blah, blah. Teach him some really cool things about hygiene. And then, you know, he doesn't really want to marry you. So then you move on. And then this near perfect guy that you kind of created is with a girl, and then they get married. That happens. And that's okay. There's no shame in that. But I think that's also too, it just goes back to the idea that, like, you have to make sure when you're dating someone that they know that you're dating to marry. And that they know that you're dating them as well. Because sometimes you don't talk about the relationship. I tell girls all the time, you're not dating unless he asks you to date. So if he hasn't asked you to date, you're not dating. Point blank, period. So you got to define that, because if he doesn't know you're dating, you're definitely not dating.
Yeah.
And that's a relationship tip from Mal.
And I don't think you have to like build it up to be a scary conversation. I think you can just ask the question, like, what do you want from this? What are your intentions with me? And yeah, just be honest. If we could just be honest about how we're feeling and what we're thinking, I think girls would get a lot more clarity of what we want if we could just be like, do you
I agree.
want to pursue things seriously with me? Why are we spending so much time together? What do you want from this? Do you want to date me exclusively? Like, just ask. Instead of living in the dark, being like, I don't know what he's thinking. Of course you don't know. You haven't asked. And he's stupid. He doesn't know what to say.
100%. We probably should wrap it up. There's 2 more stories I really want to do, but maybe we can record another time between now and next Saturday, because I really want to talk about these 2 things. But we need to wrap it up. Our first segment went long, but that's okay. You guys like when we chit chat, and I hope you felt like we were talking and laughing with you. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please share with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out. Please rate, comment, review, subscribe, however, wherever you're listening. And then answer the question on Spotify and on YouTube. Do you believe in soulmates? Are soulmates a thing? Are they not a thing? And tell us some of your goals. What are your goals in 2023? And hold me and Melanie accountable, especially Melanie. Okay, bye.